I really like Kumo. I had to record that today, and I ended up recording 12 episodes or chapters as I usually do. Uh, but there's a different thing I did today, and it actually ties into what I'm doing right now, or part of it. And I looked up. I was doing some research into some more vocal warm ups and things I can do just for Kumo and things and this because if I want my career to be revolved around my voice, I may as well make it better. And I learned a technique that I've been doing for years, and a lot of these videos have me doing it at least very minimally, and that's called vocal fry. So that sound, that sound is called vocal fry, and I just do it so naturally. It just happens. Especially, I noticed like whenever I'm doing Kumo, if it's a long sort of narration thing, I tend to end all of the sentences with that noise and like going down. So I'll just be like, yeah. I just, I don't know, like it annoys me, but it also like sometimes fits. I'm just like, because I just noticed that. I noticed that I end almost all of the sentences with that exact noise. Uh, and I do it a lot here too. But it's pretty cool though. Apparently that's like a really good thing to be able to do because that's straight out of your voice box. That's wow wow wow, and that's I don't have to include it. I just naturally do that. Whenever my voice goes lower, it might. But I can avoid doing it too. So voice box lower. Whenever my voice goes lower, I can get my voice lower too. But it's easier to just fade into something like this. That's also it's also what a lot of people do for their Obama impression. I think. My fellow Americans, we just I don't know. Apparently he like mutters and stumbles or something. I don't know. I don't do impressions. I talked about this yesterday. I don't do impressions. I'm pretty sure it's a mental thing, but I don't like doing impressions because I don't think I'm good at them. And I mean, if I can get over that, then I can get over that, but I don't do impressions. I do quotes, but I don't do impressions. For some reason, I don't know. I just like it's weird for me to also to replicate someone else's voice. I don't know. It's just like I can only do an impression if I'm doing a quote. Is the thing that I said yesterday, and it still holds true, and it will hold true until I can get over that weird thing. But I also don't want to be an impression artist because that's a dumb job. I apologize to everyone who's an impression artist, but you have a dumb job. Uh, there it is again. Whenever I think about it too when I hear it, but that's yeah. Apparently, I have a word for it now. It's called vocal fry, and I'm just going to be using it a lot more. But no, I just do. I use it naturally. Because it's just part of my voice, especially if my posture is as it is now, because I am just leaned back and chill. Yeah. Now every time I do it, I'm consciously aware of that I'm doing it, and then I'm thinking about how I'm doing it. So maybe I should sit up, and then I would do it less. But I also like it. I especially like it now that I've had some professional voice coach say that it's a good technique, and now I'm like, oh shit, I do that all the time. But I learned some other dumb shit. A lot of vocal warm ups and things like that just look stupid as hell, but work really well. So I'm gonna be using those and honing my voice a little bit more. People say they like my voice, but I don't know how to use it that well. Um, I've done some singing, but like I don't know if I'm comfortable enough to be doing like a cover or anything. Uh, but I don't know. I like the Kumo. I experimented a bit with a kind of voice. They had a new character, and I gave him a much deeper voice than I would do Kumo. And then I think to retaliate or something, or to bounce back when Kumo returned, I feel like I gave her a higher voice than I do usually. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. I never really have. I know I should, but I just haven't. Uh, but I do want to revisit visual novels and things and do voices for those. Like I don't do voices for the novels, and I've talked about this a bunch, but I never know who's talking, and I never know what their voice should sound like. So I don't even know. I like if somebody new is there, I know nothing about them from just them saying something. You know, I may know their relationship to the main character or their position, and that could help me out a little bit. But I don't know their gender most of the time off the bat. I don't know, you know, what they look like at all. Your height and your stature can directly affect your voice and things, and just your general attitude. Of course, I can glean that eventually, and then I can figure out something. But I don't know. At some point, I tried to give voices to her different personalities because she has multiple personalities. Just a thing. It's not a mental disease. It's a skill. Uh, I think it's called parallel will, but she can just like exist as two different people in the same body, and eventually it becomes like 20 people or some shit like that. I don't know how many people there are currently. Where we are in the story now, it's just her, and all of her parallel wills are doing something in the background, but we don't know what it is. So they're like in like a deep portion of her working together to do something, and we have no idea what it is. It's interesting. A lot of really great shit's happening right now. We just learned about like fucking really crazy shit. Like Kumo learned her the reason why she's being or why she's in this world. We already knew parts of why she was in this world, but we got like a detailed explanation from the reason that she's in that world. So it's really cool. In general, I love that story. I just like I want to read so much more of it. I could do that twice a day, but I don't know. I would kill Dave if I had to do that to him. But then, of course, if I do visual novels, I'd probably have him do that too, and that would kill Dave. Except Dave would enjoy that more. Dave would probably watch it if I did visual novels, because I know he doesn't watch Kumo or Shield. Whenever I talk about them, he's like, "Oh, I should," because they're interesting. But there's just already a shit ton of videos. But if I did start doing visual novels, especially any of the ones that he likes, I know he would watch them. The ones I have in mind are, I think there's one that's like a few dollars on the Play Store that he said he would buy for me. I don't know if he will. Maybe I'll bring it up to him. I don't know if it's any good. I don't even remember what it's called. I'd never heard of it before, but he brought it up to me. And then there's like a way to get I think it's Katawa Shoujo or Kawada Shoujo or something like that. The one about the crippled girls. There's a way to get that one on Android if I can figure that out. I don't think that has many issues, but I just have to figure out how to actually do it. Like you have to download some certain packages and make sure they're in a certain place. And then there's, of course, If My Heart Had Wings. I think the only visual novel I've ever completed. And I've done that one a few times, actually, just to see, like, different routes and things. And I think that would be a lot of fun. Plus, already kind of knowing the characters mean that I could do the voices. But I'm pretty sure with a lot of those, it's going to be a lot of girl voices. So that's just going to be, fun, I guess. I mean, I can have a kind of high voice, But, I don't know. I would also always love to revisit Sepia Tears. I still have that downloaded. I still have Sepia Tears downloaded, but I haven't checked the views on it in a really long time, but it just hasn't gotten that many views. I should just go back to it and see what happens, but then also, I don't know, it's just weird because it's almost destined to not get many views because it has a very little of a following. It's nobody knows what it is. If I jump into something like Katawa Shoujo or If My Heart Had Wings, that'd be great. Especially if I jumped on If My Heart Had Wings after its Steam release, because it was like it's this big popular thing, and then they put it on Steam, and then of course now even more people know about it. So that would have been a prime opportunity to do that, and I could do it at any time. Really, there's no issue with recording it. I just am lazy. And also, people don't tell me to. Although people have told me to, they just tell me to because I tell them to tell me to. There's no major, um, I want to say incentive, but I don't know if that fits. There's no major like drive there, but there's also no desire from the audience of that kind of thing. There's a word that I want, but I can't think of it. Um, Either way, my audience is not demanding I do another visual novel, just because I can tell from uh, the amount of views and the reception of the handful of visual novels I had already done. And while I enjoy doing them, just not getting very many views doesn't inspire me to continue doing them. So I don't know. Like, it shouldn't bother me that much, but it still does. Especially because I really liked, and I really like Sepia Tears. Like, that's one of my favorite things that I've ever done on this channel. Like, as soon as I made that, I tried to tell everybody about it. Like, this is great. I'm like really proud of this thing. For some reason. And like, because it got nowhere, like it hit me even harder than it would have had if it was just something that I put out. And then I think that's just keeping me from wanting to do more visual novels. But I don't know. Like, perhaps I've improved in terms of reading and voice and things like that over the however long I've been doing Kumo, like 100 some days, I guess. More than half a year, probably. Right? Maybe. What, like one? Yeah, I would say more than half a year. I was thinking of chapter number, but there are secret chapters in because I just recorded chapter 150, but there's a bunch of secret or not secret. I mean, extra chapters, bonus chapters and shit, just like snuck in there. So I mean, it could even be around 200 or something. Because it's usually like it started out once every 10, and then it was like once every 5, and then there are a couple arcs that just like are section long like side story arcs where they're like 4 or 5 different chapters that all take place outside of the main story, so they don't increase the chapter count. So we may have even be approaching 200 on that one. I'm certain that it's over half a year that I've been doing Kumo. Um, and you know, I'm really proud of where it's going. I like that it has an audience, even how small it is. I like that it does have a dedicated audience because it's very very fun to do, and I just still really like the story and where the story is going now. Um, so that's still a lot of fun. Uh, I don't know. I should get Dave's permission to do a another visual novel because as soon as he says he's 100% comfortable with doing all the editing for that, then I think I can do it because I don't know. Like the only reason I feel fine with doing Kumo and Shield is because Dave does that. Because back when I did Kumo, I really liked doing it, but I was like, I really didn't like producing and uploading it because then I was like, I had to be away from my shit and I had to make sure it got out at a certain time and all that kind of thing. And sometimes I do look at it and make sure, but sometimes it's just fucking like he'll forget and I won't even fucking notice. But it is great to just have him there to make sure that shit happens, or at least most of the time make sure it happens. But it is very helpful to have Dave. So that's cool. Look at it, we got both of our fucking both of our nullifications there. It seems like it takes time for that cutscene to happen, but just comparatively to how quickly all these attacks go, it just kind of works out. Like I hate how long that nullification cutscene is. Like it's like a fucking minute and a half. I know it's not, but it does seem like it takes a long time. But most of the time when I'm doing an auto team, I just don't even need to fucking look at it. But you know, so if Dave watches this video, I won't mention this to him in conversation at all. But if he watches this video, and then he tells me that, oh yeah, he can, he's cool with doing an upload and that shit. And of course, we need to decide on a comfortable time for that too. But you know, if he can come up with that, then I don't know, something maybe. I mean, I've been thinking about and talking about this for fucking, I don't know, maybe a month. You know, that I've been saying, oh, maybe I should do a visual novel or something like that. Because you know there are a handful that are pretty good, and I got money in my bank now. I can get that like $3-4 one on the PlayStation. Even though Dave said he would buy it for me, I might get it if I'm interested in it. I would appreciate it if he bought it for me. I don't know how much money he has though. I don't even know if he has a fucking job. You know, I know very little about Dave, and I absolutely love that. I want to just like know him for like 20 years and then finally meet him in person and then just be able to learn so many new things about him. Like the only things that I know about him outside of just like I mean like in his real life, I know his general area. I knew his area, but then he moved, and I know his name. I know his first name and his last name, but I don't know his middle name, and that's kind of it. I don't know his age. I don't know, like, I know a handful of his like living situation just from things he said. But it's just like I don't know. It's interesting that I just like this is one of my closest friends and I know very little about him, but I love that too. I think it's hilarious that we have this sort of relationship where he's just this existence, and then like we're just like it's fantastic. It's fantastic because that sort of thing can happen where so many years from now, if I do ever meet him, I will be able to learn these things after so long, and then I'll just be like, holy shit, this is fantastic. No matter what it is, it's going to be interesting, you know? Even if he's just a normal ass dude, it's just gonna be like, holy shit, you're just a normal ass dude. Why have you never just told me? But you know, he could be anything. He could be anything. It could even be a she. You know, Dave could be a girl pretending to be a guy. Even the like that's massively unlikely because the real name that I know is not feminine in any sort of way, but that could be a fake real name, I think. I feel like I haven't seen anything that's like 100%, oh, this is his name. But it's just like, it's there, you know? Dave, if you're listening, I love you, man. He should be listening. I'm pretty sure he listens. I hope he does. He's got plenty of damn time. I'm recording this pretty early. But, although we're going to be doing something together after this, and I won't talk about it, but it's pretty hilarious. I really shouldn't talk about it, so I won't. And that usually annoys Dave, but it's something we're doing together, so he knows exactly what it is, if it happens, and I hope that it happens. Just like, you know, it's also going to take a long time, which is why I'm recording this early, because I want to be able to sleep eventually. But I'm also going to be, you know, just like sleeping late no matter what if I decide to watch this thing, do this thing. I didn't say watch before, but now I said watch. Now I'm going to watch something with Dave, and it's going to take a very long time, but I don't want to talk about what it is. Where are my detectives at? Because you would be able to figure out what it is eventually. Well, I mean, if you're Dave, or if you're like Dave, and you're not, or you're outside of the situation, you'd be able to figure it out. Because if you understand the few topics that I don't talk about, and then you know that I'm watching something, and that it's really long, you may be able to figure it out. Or you just like, or you take that specific information right there and then just figure it out from there. So come on, detectives. I know you're out there somewhere. I gotta have a detective, you know. Um, there's something else I could have said, but that would have given you another hint. So I'm not going to say it. So I do think I am gonna end this episode though. 'Cause I think we're at like 21, 22 minutes maybe, something like that. And I'm comfortable with that. So take care of yourself.